Well, it's my life.
Yeah.
You know, you're lucky that I don't have a bed in here or anything else. That's him at a race meeting. That's him. So God knows how many years ago that is.
Now what's this one up here, Bernie? Are you telling?
Okay, so that was
sorry.
that's the black 58 that I built 40-something years ago. That's Tiffany Dell behind me.
If you can believe that, but I have a lot of fun in it. I'm an old hot rodder at heart, and I just love American cars, Ford and Chevy.
And I was determined to hang on to the modified machines at the front, but I hadn't reckoned on a very enthusiastic Blood and Thunder Corvette. Oh my God, they're attacking me now. Was that you, Bernie? This boy is wild. He's just all power and crazy.
And the cheek to tell me afterwards, oh yeah, you wouldn't let me pass. And I said, for f***'s sake, you want to get past me, you have to drive past me. There's going to be a lot of bleep, isn't there? He's in a Shelby Mustang.
What year is that?
65.
65 is it?
That's a 65, that's a 58.
Yeah, from factory.
One of these.
That's me.
If you've got a spare one. In this week's episode, we're meeting Adam and his father, Bernie Chodosh. Bernie has been racing Corvettes for more than 50 years and runs the Bernie's V8's race series. We're here today to look at a very special car that I'm looking to add to the collection.
This is Dad's car, so we've got C2, C1, and then something lurking under the covers there is a C3. When did you build this car?
27
years ago. I have the same car in black. This is like
a
highly
Bernie
modified.
spec.
No, like miles away from FIA. This is as quick, as fast, as lightweight, as whatever you can make it. Like, we've developed these cars over donkey's years and have all sorts of interesting mods that we've kind of developed ourselves and then actually applied for loads of other cars too. So forget the original C1 Corvette front suspension because it's all from like the 40s. So it's got a C3 Corvette front end, narrowed. It's got a Ford Mondeo right-hand drive steering rack. You're like, what? Wait a minute, how does that work? So we actually mount it all upside down and put the steering arms backwards to make it work. But it does work.
And they're light.
Yeah, and they're light. Like
they don't weigh anything.
It's all available.
And they're £100 brand new. Who the hell wants a Ford Mondeo steering rack?
Small block. It revs. You rev the nuts off it in every gear. It's got a straight cut gearbox, so you physically can't change gear unless you're going like
you've got to be at a
decent pace.
6,000 to 7,000. I mean, these cars will they will rev to not a big block. Don't need it. You got the torque. Small block that will rev to 8,000. But for how long, I don't know.
So is it chipped? I think the last time. So it's chipped now to 7.4. And you use every rev, and you have to be sort of thoughtful but purposeful with the gears, right? So first gear doesn't exist, right? You just sort of pull away. Second gear, off the gas. Third, and you just a light lift and slam it in.
Yeah.
That's altogether different from the big block, which has more horsepower than this car. It has an original 4-speed. This is all cars that we run are 4 speeds. This is a Jericho box source T1018. It's basically the same thing. No clutch when you change gears. I describe it as like a visceral experience because it's all hell for leather. Like every time when you're changing gear, you can't even. I don't breathe. I don't swallow when I go racing. So I come out.
Talks a lot though when he's not racing.
I'm doing more of the talking on purpose with this one. You look at the wheels and tyres that car runs versus this car. You'll see here, this is for my car, the 58, which isn't here. Like, these are the wheels and tyres for Dad's car, which on the face of it are pretty chunky. But the rears, the bottom ones, they're slightly larger. When you look at the rears on that car,
they're 12-inch. You cannot get any bigger tyres.
It's the largest it physically is. So the overall width is that versus that. And so what it means is when you're pulling away, it will spin in every gear, like no problem. But you sort of can't, like if you're going to nail it off the ground, it'll either break traction instantly, or it will get traction but put a lot of strain. You kind of need to be a little bit gentle and then off you go.
So the reason why in racing we do rolling starts It's because in most V8s, and even if you've got 300 horsepower, it doesn't matter. You rev it to like 4 or 5 grand, you're standing start, in first gear, you come off the clutch, you go nowhere. The back end comes out, there's loads of smoke, you immediately go into second gear, right, and then more smoke, and then the back end comes out. So what I used to do, many years ago, I'd make the car as violent off the line as possible, because no f***er would try and overtake me, because they didn't know whether I was going left or going right. So it's a psyche thing, but it's dangerous doing standing starts in these type of cars, so we only do rolling starts.
This is AP brakes, big vented discs,
but small, because they have to fit
within the wheel.
we like a 15-inch period looking wheel. I don't like all these 22-inch wheels. When we ran this car out in America, and we're doing like 162 down the back straight somewhere, road Atlanta, I'm leaving all the Porsche turbos with slicks and everything, and they all come up to me and they go, how come this car's going so quick? And I go, well, it's a lightweight body, there's not much left of it of a Corvette, but it looks the part, you know, so it's a bit of a hot rod, this car.
and then wheel woods on the back. And generally, most of these cars are kind of over-braked on the back. Small little counters.
All your brakes
you don't
really,
need-
75%
you don't
is on
need
the
much.
front.
This is a little bit lighter. This is, so if that's, say, just under 1,200 kilos dry, that's,
1075,
when I say
1050.
dry, oil but no fuel. This is probably about 100 kilos-ish lighter. And that's 35 horsepower, something like that. I mean, it's just so different. It's built differently. And this was all built like this from donkeys years ago.
27 years ago, we built this car.
Like we used to run diff coolers and all sorts of stuff, but we don't really do endurance racing with these much anymore. When I say endurance, like an hour is like you're dead. I mean, dead when you come at this after an hour. So most of our races are 20 minutes a piece. 20-minute qualifying, 20-minute, 2 20-minute races. Sometimes you might do a 40-minute race. Like that's kind of the max. We'll unwrap it. When we store the cars, we generally store them up in the air. A, because we work on them, and B, just to keep the weight off the tyres. At 400 odd quid a corner, these race tyres, you don't really want to flat spot them if you can avoid it.
The wheels are Duntoff wheels. They're about £1,000 each. They weigh absolutely nothing.
I'm tempted to take one off.
Magnesium?
No, they're alloy.
Just they're split rims. Like,
And it's all about sprung weight, unsprung weight, right? I mean, you know, I've been watching your builds. That's the sort of, we talk about incremental gains. So you try that wheel and tyre, smaller wheel, smaller tyre, and that wheel and tyre, which is, you know, best part 4 inches on the wheel, and even as much on the tyre, and that's, I don't know, probably £3 lighter.
people go and buy cars. The first thing I do when the client says to me, go and look at this race car, is I say to them, well, how much does it weigh? We've never really weighed it. How can you have a race car and not weigh it? I mean, all our cars are corner weights. These aren't quite 50-50 because they run a big block. So this one's got the headlights are what they called I think Sebring Le Mans headlights. So they did away with the pop-up headlights. They weigh a lot.
Save weight.
Yeah. Also unpredictable. So when you're racing at Sebring, you go like that, nothing happens. You can't do anything.
It's what they call wiper door delete as well. So if you were to, traditionally it would have a metal, see this panel here, it'd have a metal panel with grills and a vacuum system. It's a vacuum operator to get so the door comes up, then it comes back, and then the wipers
On the road car.
on the road car. And so for the race car, in Le Mans, again, you can only run what you can prove they ran in period. So in period, there was 1 or 2 cars that ran a panel like this has got here. And so from an FIA perspective, they certify and say, yep, we allow you to do that.
So this one is FIA.
Yeah, I've got the papers. Yeah, papers inside, 10-year papers, because not all cars. So they last for 10 years, or so technically there's 9-ish years.
This is a 1969.
Yeah.
Roadster.
So how much is left of the original car, I suppose?
The tub.
Chassis, bird cage, screen, Everything. I mean, the body is basically a repro body.
These are all...
which is why it's lightweight. But I mean, the firewall. I mean, that's all inner fenders, everything.
It's got to have period brakes. This upgraded master cylinder. It's got original steering, but everything's brand new on it. Even the box, that 4-speed box, it's all been pulled apart and super finished. It lubricates a lot better because it don't stick to the gears. It flows through the whole thing.
Nothing makes you gain horsepower, but you'll dyno an engine, and then once it's in, everything that subsequently transmits that power through to the wheels adds resistance. By super finishing the gearbox, you reduce the amount of loss. Everything like air equip, everything on all of our cars has to be air equipped for the same reason in terms of reliability. And
so what's the engine? Is it the original engine that came with the car?
No. I mean, it is. So yes, the casting number is correct. It is an original specification motor.
This is not a numbers matching road car.
Yeah, it doesn't really work in that sense. But 4-bolt main, 427, which is the right one to have. It's got AFR heads, which is the same as what we run on most of our engines. So it's got aluminium heads. So you're permitted aluminium heads because, in fact, in period, they did bring out an L88, which is an all aluminium block, and it is dry sump.
And it's dry.
So the most fundamental thing is it's dry sump.
You can't have a wet sump race engine. Impossible.
You can, but they're generally
cheat.
not. If people say it's wet sump, then you know it's not got the power, and or it's not got the reliability or consistency that you would want. It does. I mean, dry sumping, it adds a little bit of power, but it's more so around reliability and sort of consistency.
It's always got oil there.
Yeah.
You just can't put a full race camshaft in one of these things and not upgrade the rest of it.
So exhaust system wise, so there's generally 1, maybe 2 races that we run from a race series, because we run Bernie's V8, so we have the luxury of actually having our own race series for these things, which makes life a bit easier. Open headers. Otherwise it's silenced. FIA is generally all open headers.
So if you were going to go racing, let's say you wanted you could race with us, open or closed, not a problem. You could also race with the Masters. Some of their races are open, some are closed. They do some abroad. This is eligible for Le Mans Classic every other year. You can race anywhere. You can, if you wanted to take it to. I mean, we might be going back to America next year, and they don't want you to have header. They don't want you to have exhaust. It's weird, isn't it?
Crazy.
They want it the way it used to be, which is great.
Yeah.
But these cars, especially big blocks, when they drive past the pits, you know which individual car's going past.
The floor rumbles.
They're really unique, so aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh,
totally.
yeah.
I used to run the black car on the road quite a bit, and it's got no windows, got no locks, no anything. So if I've actually got a picture of me. I took it to the garden centre, not far around from here. It went for a blast, and I was like, what am I going to do? I'll tell you, I'll just take the steering wheel in with me. So I took the steering wheel in with me, and there's a guy who saw me shopping. He goes, "Is that your car?" Oh, fuck.
All this engine is built. That engine, all our cars.
Is this 10 to 1? I've got the papers. I've looked inside.
That one's 11.5 to 1. My son's car is just under 12 to 1, so we have to mix a bit of fuel. And then it's not the small blocks. These are different. These are stump pullers. That's what they nickname a big block. You can take off in 4th gear, and you know they're just unbelievable amounts of torque. This one's got Stuart Warner gauges, which are period gauges. Okay. That's what they ran in period. Some cars run these stack things with the blingy lights, and we're not interested in that.
You couldn't get papers on it if you did.
It's original spec.
Yeah, we as boys, we like the cars to be run like they ran in period, and so although they've got shift lights and everything, well, actually this one doesn't have a shift light. They've got big oil lights. You learn when is the right time to change, and you'll look at guys driving these cars in America, and what they do, they go. You don't need to do all of that. Everything is. You have to be as one in the car.
Yeah.
It's almost like putting your slippers on, so you get used to it, and you'll go quicker. And you don't think about these. And I've tried to teach the boys, if there's something wrong with the car, for fuck's sake, pull in. Because it doesn't ever get any better. No. The dash in this, by the way, is a full race Goldstrand.
It's a Greenwood Corvette.
Dash.
So there's two, Dick Goldstrand and John Greenwood. Dick Goldstrand was more around the mechanicals. The Greenwood Corvette's like the spirit of Sebring. It's like, why? I mean, like, this is massive,
and they were
15 by 15 inch slicks.
Space frame cars. A bit like a Trans Am car, they were just all tubes, and everything came off. So, for instance,
it's obviously got a roll cage and stuff.
Oh, Christ,
again,
yeah.
FIA, right? Like everything has to be certified. Certain, like when we go inside, it's like a 50 page document that specifies what the requirements are around CC, brakes, tyres, wheels. Exhaust manifolds, what you can have, and it's like really prescriptive.
This is also quite rare because it's a convertible, so it's a lightweight top that comes off. So in my opinion, and it is literally my opinion, the best year to buy, and I know it seems too convenient, is 68 to 71, which is what this is, but 69. The only difference between the 68 and 69 is basically the doors. They open, the door handles are slightly different.
Yeah, 68 has a push button door handle, and then 69 doesn't.
Yeah.
And then when you get to 70, it has different louvers. It has what
Yeah, the
called
louvers are
egg crate
different.
grills.
Right. Otherwise, they're basically all the same.
The speedo, how many miles does it say?
I can't see. 73.
73. So it's 73 miles at the first test at Brands, and then it's run at Donington and Brands again. So it's probably done another 2 hours over the course of those 2 weekends. So fresh. Should we make a bit of noise? Can I? Is that right?
Would you want to put the? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Open the door. Right. So I'll show you. This is a bit. It's not really like a spaceship, but
there's a few buttons.
a few buttons. So red key goes on. Ignition on. Pump.
Fuel pump. No, put the fuel pump on.
Yeah, it's coming out. And then, Dad, can you pass me the ear defenders, please? It gets a bit loud.
I can't hold this on.
Huh?
Your neighbours must love you.
Well, one's away, and the rest we don't give a f*** about. Well, we do, actually. They love me.